Welcome to Lecture 3 of Architectural Design 101, the Design Brief. In this lecture, you will be introduced to the Design Brief. And become familiar with the following concepts. What is a design brief? What should be included? What questions you need to ask your clients? Importance of client input. Sections of a brief. The following lectures are prerequisites. Lecture 1 and 2 of this course. Lecture 1 of Residential Construction Theory. The architecture design brief plays a vital role in documenting a project's required outcomes and deliverables. It plays a vital role in the early stages of the design process and serves as a channel by which your client's needs and wants get effectively captured by you and your team as architectural designers. It also serves as a written record of what was discussed at the onset of the project. In this lecture, we will go through a full design brief document and discuss what each section of the document covers within a residential construction context. In the first section of the brief, you will record the project description. This will include date of the brief, client's name, address, and contact info, the address and legal description of the property, site area, and any other relevant site information such as contours of the site, important geological information including waterfront, floodplain areas, soil issues, and so on. Room program. From there, you will discuss the general requirements of the design. This will include desired area and number of stories. Then a room program or wish list can be established. You can also document potential or desired sizes of each room based on your client's feedback. Sizes will go a long way when you start developing the design. You can also keep a running total of each room to see if it is in line with the total desired house size requested by the client. Oftentimes, the client's desired or affordable overall size is not commensurate with the number and size of rooms desired, as most clients do not take into consideration hallways, service areas, and wall mass and thickness, which can account for up to 20% of a house's area. As an assignment for this course, you will be required to research and itemize sizes of typical rooms in a residential building. These should be committed to memory, as it will enable you to flag any potential problems during the design brief rather than while you are designing. It is much better to alert your clients at this stage that the number and size of rooms requested is not possible based on the building area. Don't worry, you will become better at flagging these discrepancies as you gain experience. Oftentimes, your clients may already have some idea of the general layout they are after. They may even supply you with a rough sketch of what they want. Your job then is to offer expertise and red flag any potential design or buildability issues that may arise during the design process based on the sketches presented. Other times, although not common in residential design, clients may give you carte blanche and let you come up with the room program. In this case, you should still go through the full brief, as these types of clients or projects can be problematic down the line. The next sections deal with the structural components of the project. They are divided into 4 groups: foundations, slab/floors, walls, and roofs. For foundations, you will need to discuss with your clients the best option based on several factors including their budget and the cost of the various types of foundations, site suitability, soil type and bearing capacity, depth of the water table, type of foundation proposed, For example, is there a basement proposed? Is it a steep site, etc.? It's perfectly okay for your client to have a preference. It is their house after all. But as the expert on the project, you need to make them aware of the pros and cons of their preference and advise them if it is not the best option for this particular project. Some of the most common foundation types are listed here in the brief, and they include slab on grade, piers or piles, crawl space, basement, with basement being the most common in Canada and northern parts of the United States. The next section deals with floors, both below and above grade. The type of walls will depend on the type of foundation that is proposed. For example, if the foundation type is slab on grade, the most likely material for the ground floor will be concrete. If the foundation is a pier and column type foundation, then a wood floor is the only option. Normally, below or at grade floors are constructed of concrete, and above grade floors of wood frame, made up of floor joists and a subfloor sheet type material. Other options for floors include core slab and ICF concrete floors. The next section addresses walls. Again, depending on its location, below grade walls are normally constructed with a concrete product, such as concrete, concrete block, or ICF, and above grade walls most commonly of wood frame construction. Other options include ICF, steel studs, post and beam, wood logs, or SIP panels. The final section of the structural components deals with the roof construction. The most common, by a wide margin, is wood frame construction. This can be engineered roof trusses or conventional stick frame construction, comprising of site-cut and assembled roof members. Other options include ICF, steel trusses, post and beam, or SIP panels. Any desired cathedral, tray, or raking ceilings should also be noted in this section. The next 4 sections deal with exterior finishes and moisture control materials. The first deals with wall underlayment. You should discuss with your client the type of air barrier system you recommend, based on the type of assemblies discussed in the previous structural section. Options listed are OSB or plywood, which are wood products that must be used in conjunction with other products to be effective. Others include rigid insulation or flexible sheet type underlays. At this stage, don't worry if you are not familiar with the purpose of air barriers or the need for an effective moisture control system in your building envelope. These concepts will be discussed in great detail in other courses. Next, we move to exterior wall cladding. Options listed here include masonry veneer brick or stone, vinyl siding, fiber cement siding, metal, IEFS, insulated exterior finish stucco, wood siding, pre-finished SIP, other. The next section deals with roof cladding selection. Options listed include corrugated metal, trapezoidal metal, metal tiles, clay tiles, asphalt shingles, synthetic shingles, cedar shingles, rubber/bituminous membrane, pre-finished SIP panels. The next section tackles roof underlayment and waterproofing materials. Options are air barrier for metal roof, ice and water shield, felt paper. The next 2 sections deal with windows and doors. In the general window and door section, you are going to want to record the type and construction of the windows your clients are considering. This includes options for the frame construction as well as the glazing. For the frame, the most common types are wood, PVC wrapped wood, and all PVC. As for the glazing, the climate, location, or jurisdiction of the project may affect the type of glazing you will need to specify. Single glazed or sealed double or triple glazed are options listed here. You will also want to note if the client wishes to introduce gas into the sealed window units. Options include low-E and argon gas. You may also want to query your client's preferred window style and operation. Although, this may be influenced greatly by the style of house they are seeking, which is discussed in a later section of the brief. The next section deals with specialty doors, namely the front entry door and garage door, if a garage is proposed. The type, operation, and construction of these doors should be recorded. This may include number of garage doors, double or single front door, single or double side light, or location and type of other exterior doors, such as patio or garden doors. Next, we move on to interior finishes with the next two sections. The first block deals with wall and ceiling finishes. Although painted gypsum board is the most common wall and ceiling finish, and will likely be the preferred option in most of your projects, you should note any deviations from that norm if requested by your clients. This may include accent walls or varying ceiling finishes in only 1 or 2 rooms. There are several material options listed here. Next, we move on to the recording of floor finishes and which rooms are to receive which finish. Options listed include hardwood, carpet, ceramic tiles, timber plank, sheet vinyl, plank vinyl, rubber, and polished concrete. It should be noted here that the recording of interior finishes is not meant to be construed as interior design services. Interior design is a separate profession from home design. The purpose of noting these finishes is to ensure that the substructure and any substrate is properly specified during the construction drawing stage, as some interior finishes may warrant special construction features or materials. This information should be conveyed to your clients. The next section tackles bathrooms and utility rooms. Here, you will want to document the number of bathrooms your client requires. This includes the number of bathrooms and on which floor or area of the house they would prefer them to be located. The options listed here are the main bathroom, an ensuite bathroom, and washrooms. Also important is the type and count of plumbing fixtures they would like to see in each bathroom. Of significance is the type of showers and bathtubs being proposed, as this may affect the structure of the home. You can also discuss other wet areas such as mud rooms, laundry areas, and utility rooms. Please note that plumbing, as well as interior moisture and waterproofing control, are discussed in subsequent courses and lectures. The next 3 sections cover interior millwork. Firstly, kitchen design should be discussed, and whether or not your client wishes to retain your services to design the kitchen. If they do, a separate brief should be prepared for the kitchen design. More than likely, your client will want to retain a separate consultant for their kitchen design. Most often the kitchen is designed by a kitchen manufacturer, who provides kitchen design services as part of their fabrication process. Nonetheless, when it comes to the general layout of the kitchen, you will have to commit something to paper as part of your services so that your client gets an appreciation for the general layout of the kitchen and its relationship with other rooms. You may also need to generate some sort of 3D kitchen if you are wanting to provide interior renderings as part of your services. Either way, you should always annotate your drawings with a note that states that the kitchen design is indicative only. Next, we move on to interior door types. Various profiles and types are listed here. In this section, you should also note if your clients have any special needs, such as wider doors for barrier-free access or higher doors for aesthetics. You should also familiarize yourself with standard door sizes and types, as custom doors tend to be costly, and this should be conveyed to your clients should they request odd door sizes. The third section of interior millworks deals with skirting, casing, and window reveals. The material and type should be discussed, but note that the type of windows and doors may play a role in what is being specified in this section. The next 5 sections deal with exterior and landscaping features of the project. The first documents any canopy, veranda, or balcony your client would want. You should discuss location, type, and construction materials preferred. The style of the home, as well as its layout and orientation on the site, will likely influence the location and size of each of these features. Next, paved areas, decks, patios will be discussed. Like the previous section, these will likely be influenced by the same parameters. Nonetheless, you should still discuss them and their desired construction type. We then move on to exterior walkways and driveways. The location and desired material should be documented. Particular attention should be paid to driveways on sites that are steep, as the location of driveways may warrant the need for cut and fill earthworks and retaining walls. The location of driveways is also regulated by most municipalities. You should familiarize yourself with these regulations. The fourth subsection deals with landscaping. The level of detail required at this stage is not that crucial, as landscape design is a separate service than building design, in that it should be undertaken by a qualified and knowledgeable individual. You may want to document locations that will receive permeable and non-permeable surfaces, as this information will be required when you perform your site analysis and design. You can also note basic specifications and requirements as listed here in the brief. If fencing is proposed, you can document it here in this last section, including type, height, and materials. You should also familiarize yourself with your local bylaws pertaining to fences. These are oftentimes found in the zoning bylaw documents. The next 3 sections deal with mechanical installations, namely heating, electrical, and ventilation systems. You may find that a lot of your clients may not have much knowledge or any preferences with regards to these sections. When it comes to heating of both space and water, you should document the type of system your clients want or what you recommend. As the cost of heating systems can get out of hand very quickly, your recommendation may be influenced by the following factors: your client's budget, size of the home, and available fuel types on site, such as natural gas, propane, oil, etc. The next section will cover the design of the electrical and lighting installations of the house. If you choose to provide these services to your clients, as many jurisdictions do not require electrical system designs and drawings as part of the building permit process, you should note any preferences and specifications in this section. The electrical design will be further refined once a floor plan has been approved by the client in later stages of the design process. Noting the size of the electrical service required may be warranted at this stage and cross-referenced with a subsequent section on site services. The last subsection deals with mechanical ventilation. This section will be influenced by the location and climate of your project, as well as the jurisdiction of the project. Another determining factor for the type of ventilation system is the type of heating system documented earlier. Listed here are options for a heat recovery ventilator and its preferred or required installation type. It should be noted that mechanical systems are covered in greater detail in subsequent courses. Don't feel intimidated if you have little knowledge of these systems at this stage. Next, you need to document the site services available to the property. This may have already been done if a site visit has already been undertaken. Things to note include data, power, potable water, storm water services, sanitary sewer services, and whether these services are private or public. A lot of this information may be included on a survey if your client has provided you with one. If not, you can usually obtain this information from your local municipality, oftentimes online. We also have another section to capture any sustainable design features or components your clients may want to incorporate into the design. These include passive design, energy-efficient design, gray water retention, renewable energy, solar panels, solar water, and wind. The last but not the least of the design features, you will want to record what architectural style your clients would prefer. You may offer some advice if they are not sure or familiar with the different styles. Keep in mind that the design style should be in harmony with the neighborhood. Also, of relevance are any covenants that may have been imposed on the property by the developer of a subdivision. Many styles are listed here, all of which were examined in the previous lecture. Two more sections are shown here. The first deals with what documentation you require from your client, depending on the type, scope, and size of the project. These include a property deed showing they are the legal owners of the property, an offer to purchase if they have yet acquired the property, a geotech report if available, a site survey showing the size of the property, a topographical or elevation survey if available. You should also identify if you anticipate the involvement of an engineer will be required. And the last block is an internal use section that tracks the progress of each stage and deliverables of the project and what date they were completed. This list may vary from office to office, but generally includes some version of these stages, which include site analysis, development plans, plans sent to trust designer, pricing plan, building permit plans, specifications and supporting documents, building permit application, RFI.
Let's eat! Would you please shut up?